Welcome back to the channel. Glad to see Brighton. Middle of August. Beautiful weekend so far. Lovely British summertime. Warm in parts of France. I notice central south area warming up. Temperatures beginning with a 4. Don't need that personally. Had a good week myself. 4 viewings on my house this week. Just waiting for some feedback on those, if any. See what happens there. I came across a property this week in Lower Normandy that I thought I would share with you. It's a nice property. I thought worth taking a look at. And with that, enough said. Let's dive straight in. Let me know what you think in the comments. So, I'm on a mailing list for this company, Clay France. And I think they're an umbrella organisation that promotes properties for a number of French estate agents. And I believe the website is primarily for overseas buyers. You can see there on the screen, they actually have a UK office and telephone number. And as I said earlier, this property is in Lower Normandy. So I've just snapshotted a picture of this part of the world. You can see there in red the closest ports. So Dieppe down to the arrow is about a 3-hour drive. You've got Le Havre, Cherbourg a little bit closer, and then Saint Malo pretty close to this part of Lower Normandy. All of those ports have regular crossings from the UK. And then the property we're looking at is in a commune called Parigny, or I think it was Parigny, I think it's now Grand Parigny. And it's in this triangle, Avranches to the west, Fleur sort of to the north, and Mayenne to the south. Mayenne is actually Pays de la Loire, but for all intents and purposes, this property is in Lower Normandy. And there's just a little closer snapshot of the area. So you can see Grand Parigny just north of Saint-Hilaire du Harquet, north of Le Loge Marché. I did have friends who lived there. Essigny-le-Bois, I've stayed there. We've got Morton-Bocage, also there just to the east. So this is a part of the world I know relatively well. I just added this slide because I thought it made an interesting comparison. So there's a snapshot there of where I currently live, the city of Brighton and Hove. We've got a population just shy of 300,000. Our population density, 8,690 people per square mile. And then if you compare that to this part of France, population as of 2019 of just over 1,800, where you've got 410 people per square mile. So if my maths is correct, it's about 5% compared to where I currently live. And this is the actual property itself. I think you can tell the type of properties I like. I like properties that if you asked a 5-year-old to draw a house, I've said it before, I don't think they'd be drawing something a million miles away from what this property looks like. It's currently a 2-bedroom property, one bathroom, describes having 81 metres of living space on a plot of 44,000 square metres. That's 4.4 hectares. That's enough to keep you busy. It's got a huge colombage barn, which I think has been used as a garage and a barn. It's described as being habitable now. The Clay France website is a little poor. We're going to assume it's got electricity supplied. You can see a satellite dish on the side of the house there. We're going to assume it's got a connection to water. It doesn't specify at all whether it's got a connection to main sewage or whether it's a septic tank. If it is a septic tank, whether it's up to date. What it does say is, the condition of this property is habitable now. I'll let you in on the price. This is listed for sale at €113,000. I'll break that down into pounds and dollars later on in the video. So the way French estate agents present properties is considerably different to the way it's done here in the UK. In the UK, very much about staging photos, decluttering, whereas the French approach seems to be a more honest approach, usually sparse photo details to encourage you to make contact. So this is really the only exterior property photo I could find. A ugly breeze block addition to the house on the left hand side, and I think that's actually just explains to me what another photo relates to. Then you've got the downstairs window, a glass door, another window, and then it looks like another door into the property with a little shed tacked onto the side. I think you'd get rid of that as soon as you could. But, overall, a good, solid, square, dependable looking property. Looking inside the property, looks like you've got good proportion rooms, solid floor there, working fireplace, some features, nice light airy room. I think the fluorescent tube lighting has to go, and it'd be lovely to get some sandblasting done, and I think perhaps remove that pretty dated brown paint. This appears to be the kitchen, which needs totally installing, but it looks like a good size. One of my pet peeves about some French properties I've seen, just to the right of the arrow there, I think that's the bathroom, and personally I don't like bathrooms coming off of kitchens, but a good size, and it's a blank canvas, isn't it? Bathroom itself is dated. I'm not sure what that thing on the wall between the bath and the sink is. And the Clay website actually apologises. So whichever agent this is very protective of its images. So they put this for sale image on a lot of their pictures. I think it's a stupid idea. I can't understand why you would do that. But anyway, yeah, it's a dated bathroom, needs decorating and replumbing. This, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that this is that room, the breeze block building that was tacked on in the earlier picture. I may be wrong, but that's what I think might be going on here. One of the bedrooms, yeah, it's a good size. Built-in storage, maybe a bit dated. It's lino on the floor, I think I read somewhere. So it'd be interesting to perhaps lift that, see what's actually going on. Don't actually know what this picture is. I don't know whether this is the second bedroom or communal living space. Moving on up to the loft, you can see the stairs there coming up. There's an extractor pipe that seems to stretch half the floor of the loft space. I think obviously you would have to do something about that, but it looks like the loft is a good size. Not quite finished. Looks like it needs boarding, finishing boarding. And yeah, I just can't understand why there's that enormous aluminium worm stretching across the floor. Moving outside. This is ridiculous. If you look closely on this picture, you can see they've photoshopped it to remove that stupid for sale image. But I think there's fencing going on behind those trees. I don't know if this is the approach to the property. Looks like there's a bit of hedging over on the right hand side, but 4.4 acres of pasture by the looks of it. Actually, that's not true. In the property description, it does say there's an orchard. So it looks like there's a nice selection of mature fruit trees there. And then, of course, there's also this big colombage barn. Colombage is the French term. I think in some parts of the world you'd refer to that as wattle or wattle and daub. Cob, I think, is another name for the construction of those walls. The roof itself looks pretty recent, good standard. There seems to be a stone floor there. I think there's actually two entrances. Each of these big aluminium doors opening onto separate parts. This one I think has been used as the garage. And then another entrance immediately next to that. You can see from the picture here, it's a huge barn. This part of it with a soil floor. But as long as that roof is watertight, and looking at the roof, you know, again, it looks pretty recent. I don't think the earth floor is going to cause too many problems there. So there you go then. A substantial sized property on a considerable parcel of private land in a beautiful part of the world. Some ones for the price of 113,000 euros. Between 5 and 7, I think it's 7% notary fee. So that's probably going to take that to what? About 123,000 euros. So in sterling, without the notary fee, about 96,000. With the notary, probably 102, 100. And as I see, we have some people viewing from the States. Welcome. Thanks for watching. 113,000 euros. That's going to equate to about 124,000 US. And again, by the time you've added your 7% on top of that, I think you're looking at around 135,000 US dollars. I think it's a nice property. I think it's an interesting property. Don't think it's presented particularly well. I think there is some work to be done on it. But, you know, a new bathroom, a new kitchen, some flooring, bit of wiring, bit of plumbing. Nothing that's beyond the wit of man. So, what do you think? I think it's a nice property, poorly presented. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Until next time, thanks very much.